Today I'm going to take you through a 15-minute ski-specific strength workout you can do as a follow along with me with no equipment. This is going to build up the strength required for a successful and fun ski holiday. We're going to start off with a warm-up consisting of 3 movements, 40 seconds each for 1 round, but maybe I should get changed first. Let's warm up the hamstrings with a squat to good morning. If you start off feet about shoulder width apart, we're going to go for the squat. And then hands on temples for the good morning hinge. Alternating between the two. I like my arms out for a squat, then pull those hips back. Almost straight legs, maybe a slight unlock of the knee for that good morning. You need to learn the difference between a hip hinge and a squat with knee flexion. Okay, dropping down onto one side, you're going to put your left hand on your right ankle. We're going to do outward circles. I'm using my right hand to add some weight into the ankle stretch. Keeping that heel planted down. Same side, but changing direction. I'm trying to close off the angle between the shin and the shoelaces as much as possible as you lean through the front. Get ready for the other side. Okay, switching sides. So I'm planting my right hand to keep my left heel pressed into the floor. I'm going to do outward circles, doesn't matter which way you started. Doing 20 seconds in each direction. Ankle mobility. Really important for skiing. And back the other way. Again, that Achilles tendon moving. Okay, let's get into the main strength workout. We've got 6 exercises doing 30 to 40 seconds on with a 20-second transition for 2 rounds in total. I'm going to start with a narrow stance split squat for 30 seconds per side. So start with your right foot a couple of inches, maybe 6 inches in front of your left foot. So there's a gap of 6 inches between the toe and the heel. We're going to put all our weight into that front right leg, staying nice and upright. We do a narrow split squat. That back left toe is just there to provide a little bit of assistance, but you're trying to basically do a single leg squat with that front right leg. We're putting the arms out for counterbalance, chest upright. We're actively trying to get the knee to go forwards over the toe without losing pressure or contact with the heel on that right side. Okay, let's switch around. So about a 6-inch gap between the back toe and the front heel, so it's a very narrow stance. Just to emphasize the quads. All the weight's in this front left leg, getting a nice angle here. Strengthening the knees, strengthening the quads. Minimizing assistance of that back toe. You could even delay the back toe, so you only touch it down at the bottom of the movement, and then you can release it halfway up as well if you want to make it a little bit more challenging. Great job. Okay, lying on your back now. If you've got the space, you can do a straight leg wiper. If you haven't, you can do a 90-degree knee. It's a bit easier to do the 90-degree knee. We're working on a little bit of rotational core strength for this one. So just going side to side. The key is to keep the opposite shoulder on the floor. I'm kind of going halfway between straight and bent leg right now. This is more important than doing crunches in terms of ski core strength. You don't need ab or spinal flexion to be a good skier, but this rotational strength is really useful. Okay, onto your feet. You're going to do an alternating backwards lunge, dropping the back knee to either gently touch or at least coming very close to the floor. This is a bit of an all-round one. We're going to strengthen the glutes, hamstrings and quads. A little bit of balance in there. Make sure that front knee is pointing in the same direction as your toes. It should not be collapsing in towards the center. Okay, lying on your side now. I'm going to do a half side plank with lateral leg lifts. Imagine you're on a flat, trying to push the skis out. You need some of that lateral strength, also a little bit of lateral stability. We're going to pop up into this half side plank position so the bottom leg's bent. And with a straight top leg, we're just doing lateral lifts, working on the TFL, the glute medius, and the abductors. Try not to turn the hips to facing the ceiling, keep them square to the front, and same with the toe. It's tempting to turn this into a hip flexor lift by facing the ceiling. You want to stay facing directly forwards. Okay, let's switch sides. So bottom knee bends to 90 degrees, top leg stays straight. Surprisingly difficult. Okay, now we're going to work on your soleus, which is the muscle running underneath your calf. Your soleus works when you're doing kind of like a calf raise but with a bent knee position. So we're going to bend the knees. I'm going to keep this knee angle fixed now. I'm going to hold the wall for a little bit of support. And we're going to go for a calf raise or a soleus raise. Pausing at the top. If you've got some wedges or a little step or a plate, you could do this off that for a little bit extra stretch. When you're skiing, it's very rare you're going to have completely locked out knees. So we want some ankle strength, but it's actually more important to do this in a bent leg position. Your soleus doesn't cross the knee joint, it attaches below. So by bending the leg, we're taking the calf out a little bit and focusing on this more specific, useful muscle. Great job. And then we're going to go for the other side now. We're going to work on these shin muscles, your tibialis anterior. So hips against the wall, upper back comes off, lean in, your weight slightly over your quads. Imagine you're going to curl your toes up, getting them as high as you can, as if you're trying to touch your toenails on your shins. Just briefly hot potato your toes off the floor. So you can pause at the top in that contraction, but you're just briefly touching down the balls of your feet on the floor. This is going to give you the strength in the ankles needed to move the skis around, have better control. That's burning by the end. Okay, you got a brief rest. There's one round done, we've got one more to go. So we're starting back with that narrow split squat, working on that single leg quad strength. That's going to be 30 seconds per side. I recommend doing this routine about 2 to 3 times a week, leading up to your ski trip, mean that you'll be able to have longer days on the ski slope, have more control, have more fun. Okay, right foot forwards, left foot back. All the weights in this front right leg. Try to stay as upright as possible here. Might even want to delay that back foot assistance towards the bottom of the movement and then take it away towards the top. So we're almost doing a single leg squat. Make sure that knee is pointing forwards. It's going to probably want to collapse in towards the big toe, so try and avoid that. Okay, switching sides, left foot forwards. Your right toe is going to be about 6 inches behind your front left heel. Minimizing that back leg assistance, using it as much as needed, but trying not to do too much with it. Okay, we've got those wipers, so if you've got the space, go straight leg. If you haven't, go bent leg. Your knees or feet shouldn't actually be touching the floor. If you've done that, you're either extremely flexible or you're probably lifting the opposite shoulder blade off, which we don't want. You should be lowering the legs down with control. A lot of the time I see people drop their heels down towards their glutes. Let's keep them away, having at least 90 degrees. It's actually going to get more difficult the more you extend your legs. Onto the feet. Got those alternating reverse lunges. Okay, lying on your side, half side plank. It's the most difficult one for me. You're gonna bend the bottom knee in half, keep the top leg straight. It's probably the most neglected area, this one. Try not to cheat it by turning your hips up. Stay facing forwards. Get onto the Soleus rows. I'm going to get myself a plate. Use a book, some wedges or anything. Just, it's going to give you a little bit extra stretch at the bottom. So we're going to put a slight bend in the knee, but then keep that knee angle fixed. That's the key today, is not to be changing the angle at the knee. Pause at the top of the movement, but just briefly touching the heels off the floor at the bottom. Maximize the time under tension. Okay, let's finish up with those tibialis raises. Definitely one. A lot of people ignore this. So up, imagine your toes touching your shins, only briefly touching them off the floor. If you want to improve your ankle mobility, stretching is a good idea, doing classic calf stretches. Actually, a lot of the time if you try and improve mobility, you want to think about what's on the other side of that joint and then try and strengthen that up. And that'll give you better results than just static stretching alone. So doing these is going to help you. And that's the workout complete. Let me know in the comments, how did you find that and where are you going this ski season? I'd love to hear about it. Why not try this mobility routine here, which will help you out with your flexibility for the trip. I'll link it in the pinned comments also.